Hi, I'm Mima. I'm a grandma and a mom, and I have a story to read to you, a Christmas story called Christmas Prayer. It was written by Rian Anderson and illustrated by Michael Parker. It was Christmas Eve, 1881. And at 13, my world had caved in. I knew there wasn't enough money for the rifle I so desperately wanted for Christmas. We had done the chores early that night, and after supper I took off my boots and stretched out in front of the fireplace, waiting for Pa to get down the old Bible. Pa didn't get down the Bible. Instead, he bundled up and went outside. Soon, Pa came back in with ice in his beard. "Come on, Matt," he said. "Bundle up good. It's cold tonight." I was really upset then, not only about the rifle, but about being dragged out in the cold for no good reason. But I knew Pa wasn't very patient with anyone who dragged their feet, so I put on my boots and grabbed my hat, coat, and gloves. Ma's face twinkled with a mysterious smile as we left the house. Something was up, but I couldn't imagine what. So they're all bundled up, ready to go. Outside, I became even more dismayed. There, in front of the house, was the work team, already hitched to the big wagon. I knew then this wasn't going to be a quick little job. Pa was already on the seat, reins in hand. I reluctantly climbed up and sat beside him. The cold was biting, and I wasn't happy. Pa pulled the wagon around the house and stopped in front of the woodshed. "I think we'll put on the high sideboards," he said. "Here, help me." The high sideboards, this was going to be a really big job, bigger than anything I wanted to do. The high sideboards in place, Pa went into the woodshed and came out with an armload of wood. The wood I'd spent all summer hauling down from the mountain and all fall sawing into blocks and splitting. "Pa," I asked, "what are you doing?" Here's the picture again. "You been by the widow Jensen's lately?" he asked. She lived 2 miles down the road with 3 children. The oldest was 8. "Yes," I asked. "Why?" "I rode by just today," Pa said. "Little Jake was out digging around in the woodpile trying to find a few chips." "They're out of wood, Matt." He turned and went back into the woodshed for another armload of wood. I followed. We loaded the wagon so high I wasn't sure the horses would be able to pull it. Finally, Pa asked if we had enough. Pa finally said we had enough. We went to the smokehouse and Pa took down a big ham and a side of bacon and told me to put them in the wagon. So there's ham and bacon and a bunch of wood. He came back out carrying a sack of flour over his right shoulder and a smaller sack in his left hand. "What's in the little sack?" I asked. "What do you think it is?" "Shoes, Jake." "Shoes." I read that wrong. Okay, ready? "Shoes. Jake had gunny sacks wrapped around his feet when he was out in the woodpile this morning. I got the children a little candy, too. It just wouldn't be Christmas without a little candy." We rode 2 miles to Widow Jensen's pretty much in silence. I tried to think through what Pa was doing. We had wood and we had meat and flour, but we didn't have any money, not even for a rifle. So why was Pa buying shoes and candy for people who weren't really our concern? You can see here's a picture of him thinking and thinking. as they rode quietly for 2 miles down the road in the freezing cold. We approached the side of the Jensen house where there were no windows and unloaded the wood as quietly as possible. Then we took the meat and flour and shoes to the door and knocked. A timid voice called out, "Who is it?" "Lucas Miles, ma'am, and my son Matt. Could we come in for a bit?" Widow Jensen had a blanket wrapped around her when she answered the door. The children, bundled in another blanket, were sitting in front of the fireplace. Its small fire gave off hardly any heat at all. Fumbling with a match, Widow Jensen finally lit the lamp. "We brought you a few things, ma'am," Pa said, and set down the sack of flour. I put the meat on the table. Then Pa handed her the smaller sack. She opened it hesitantly and took the shoes out one pair at a time. There was a pair for her and one for each of the children, sturdy shoes, the best. Shoes that would last. She bit her lower lip to keep it from trembling, and then tears filled her eyes and spilled down into her cheeks. She looked up at Pa like she wanted to say something, but no words came out. Can you see the tear on her cheek? "We brought a load of wood too, ma'am," Pa said. Then he turned to me. "Matt, go bring in enough to last for a while. Let's get that fire up to size and heat this place up." As I went out to bring in the wood, I no longer felt like the same person. I had a big lump in my throat, and there were tears in my eyes. My heart swelled within me, and a joy I'd never known before filled my soul. I had given Christmas presents many times before, but never like this. I knew we were literally saving people's lives. Soon the fire was blazing, and everyone's spirits soared. The kids giggled as Pa handed them each some candy. Widow Jensen turned to us with a smile that had likely been absent for too long. "God bless you," she said. "I know the Lord himself has sent you. The children and I have been praying that he would send one of his angels to spare us." The lump returned to my throat and tears welled up in my eyes again. I'd never thought of Pa that way, but suddenly I was sure that a better man than Pa had never walked the earth. Here's a picture of the children with their candy. They look so happy. I bet they had not had candy for a very long time. So that was very special for them. Pa insisted that everyone try on the shoes before we left. Each pair fit perfectly. How had he known what sizes to get? Then I knew. He was on an errand for the Lord, so the Lord made sure Pa got the right sizes. Pa took each of the kids in his big arms and gave them a big hug as we got ready to leave. They clung to him and didn't want us to go. I could see that they missed their Pa, and I was so glad that I still had mine. At the door, here's a picture of this. At the door, Pa turned to Widow Jensen. "The missus wanted me to invite you and the children over for Christmas dinner tomorrow. The turkey will be more than 3 of us can eat, and a man can get cranky if he has to eat turkey for too many meals. We'll be by to get you about 11. It'll be nice to have some little ones around again." Widow Jensen nodded. "Thank you, Brother Miles. I don't have to say, 'May the Lord bless you,' because I know for certain that he will." Back in the wagon, I felt a warmth that came from deep within, and I didn't even notice the cold. Pa turned to me. "Matt, I want you to know something. Your ma and I have been tucking a little money away here and there all year so we could buy that rifle for you. I started into town this morning to do just that. But on the way, I saw little Jake out scratching in the woodpile, his feet wrapped in those gunny sacks, and I knew what I had to do. I hope you understand. My eyes became wet with tears again. I understood very well. Just then, that rifle really didn't matter anymore. For the rest of my life, whenever I saw any of the Jensens or split a block of wood, I remembered, and remembering brought back that same joy I felt riding home beside Pa that night. Pa had given me much more than a rifle. He had given me the best Christmas of my life. A very good story, huh? A Christmas Prayer, written by Rian Anderson, illustrated by Michael Parker. I hope you enjoyed that story. That was a beautiful story of how we can help other people and serve them. And in this case, they saved their lives because the widow didn't have any more wood to stay warm. And Christmas is in the middle of winter, so I don't know what they would have done. They probably couldn't have made it. So what a beautiful story about Matt and how he had the best Christmas of his life. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. And come back again, and we'll do another story at another time, okay? I love you. Wait, I did that wrong. Help me. I love you. Mwah. Okay, come back again. Bye-bye.